We got another quality episode of NXT tonight.
What up, Mox?
Guys, you know what time it is? Back from a small absence, a couple days off. We're back with a review of NXT for this Tuesday night. Let's get right into it. NXT started off with that big number one contenders triple threat match between Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, and Pete Dunne. And it was a banger of a match. It really was. It was a lot of fun to get through this match. The ending I just thought was kind of a bit of an issue. I just think they could probably would have better way with it. But yeah, it was a fun match. It was fun. All three guys worked really well together. All tremendous performers in the ring. It was kind of a toss up in the beginning who you thought was going to win. People were saying it seemed like Kyle O'Reilly was the guy. He seemed like the guy to get it. He seemed like it was a shot. Gargano seemed like the odd man out, and Pete Dunne probably second in line there. But during the match, we get a run in from Adam Cole, who's been gone for 2 months. He cut a promo a few months back, and we haven't seen him since. He comes back out, he beats all three guys down, and then William Regal comes in and kind of ushers him out of there. And that's it. And that's it. And we get a no finish. It becomes a no contest due to Cole's interference. We'll see what happens later on the night. But as for now, at this part of the show, it ends in a no contest. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a lackluster finish. Maybe they could have done a more interesting way of doing it, but he comes out and ruins the whole thing for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the match was great. I was having a good time watching the match. I thought it was an awesome triple threat match. I thought they had fun spots. Everybody looked good. It was fun. But the ending, man, it was just like, and then it went from commercial back, and then here comes Ember Moon. It was just like, what? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. It was kind of a miss. It fell flat. It makes sense for Adam Cole to throw his hat in there and make sure that he's like known and like he is the face of NXT and he should be in this match. So it does make sense, but I don't know. It didn't hit as well as I thought that they probably thought it was gonna hit. Like I said, just fell flat. But we find out later why Adam Cole's doing it, and most likely where this whole storyline's going.
Yeah, the whole Ember Moon thing felt like it played into the chaotic nature of the whole thing because they're ushering this guy out as she just kind of walks in and you're kind of just like, what the hell was that? Was she supposed to do that? And then it comes back from commercial and she calls out Raquel Gonzalez, who obviously they get a little bit of a brawl, and then Dakota Kai attacks her from behind, so she'll get Dakota Kai next week. And I'm assuming it'll be Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez at NXT Takeover in your house. Makes only sense because she took out Shotzi Blackheart last week. So I mean, it played into the chaotic nature of the whole thing. So I guess I understand why they did it. Now, it's just the finish.
It's a mistake for me.
The finish of the match to me is kind of just like, it's okay. The match was so much fun that you kind of want a definitive winner to the end of that match. Yeah. But the next thing on the show, we had LA Knight versus Jake Atlas, and this is kind of for like, it's Cameron Grimes and LA Knight fighting for the heart of Ted Dibiase, or for the hand of Ted Dibiase. So he's taking on Jake Atlas, and due to Cameron Grimes, Atlas is able to get the win. I do like Atlas's cartwheel, DDT. It seems unnecessary, for really him to do the cartwheel, but it's a nice looking maneuver. So he gets the win, and we'll see. They'll face each other next week. I'm sorry, they'll face each other at in NXT Takeover in your house, which is 2 weeks away. We'll see that match. Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, and I guess the winner of that gets the hand of Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see LA Knight having a feud like we said last week. It's cool to have him building his character, and can this guy become one of the faces of NXT? That's kind of where everybody kind of sees him going one day, and hopefully this is the right jumping point for him to take that step. But I did like the fact he was like, it's gotta be me, Ted, it's gotta be me, Ted. And for a second there I thought he said dad, and I was like, wait, what? But it was definitely a fun little spot there, him yelling with the bloodshot eye.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we'll see how it turns out in the end and how that match happens, and if this is the definitive end to it. Like, okay, he wins. Whoever wins that match gets Ted DiBiase and becomes his manager or whatever. We'll see how that ends up turning out. Now, next thing in the show, we had Ted DiBiase cutting a promo at the end, right? Talking about the match that just happened, and it's just totally shit canned due to Adam Cole walking right past. He gets to the ring, he commands the attention, he comes out, and he's talking all that trash. And he's talking about how he wants Karrion Kross. He deserves a shot. He deserves a shot at Karrion Kross. So Karrion Kross obliges, comes out, and answers the question. Now, he doesn't. Now, this is the problem. So when he comes out like this, his music doesn't lend to him coming out like that. It's very slow, very, melodic tones. It's just like he's coming out, and it doesn't fit, right? Like him coming out, walking out, ready for a promo, and it's that song. So I think he should have 2 different songs, but whatever. So.
All right, Triple H.
Yeah, they come out and he talks a bunch of trash to to Cole, saying that, you no longer became special when I signed on the dotted line. So yeah, okay, fine, makes sense. And then you have Cole come back at him, calling him Mr. Overrated because you can't lace my boots on his best. Talking about the performances in the ring, right? So these are interesting shots because they feel kind of real. So I like that aspect. But again, you have Karrion Kross as the monster that kind of nobody wanted to face, but not everybody wants a chance at him. So I mean,
yeah,
you kind of just like it's like it's catch-22 right there. Right? Like you have him coming in as the monster, kind of nobody wants to face him, right? 'Cause he's a monster, he's destroying guys, and then now everybody wants to face him. So it doesn't make a ton of sense there. I did like the realism of it because it felt real, right? Like it felt like they were taking actual shots at each other, which is cool. I don't know if you guys are friends, they don't like each other. I don't know if there's real beef between the two, but it felt real. So it came off on my screen as like, okay, it feels kind of legit. The beef between them feels kind of real. The stuff they're saying, the shots they're taking at each other makes sense. Okay, so when it comes, it's funny though, because like that back and forth is what a lot of people in the wrestling community tend to fall on, that argument, right? So the guy who's a tremendous performer in the ring, which is the other guy who's solid in the ring, but I mean not as good and as flashy, which one is better, right? So you have Karrion Kross, who has the look, he has the size, he has the demeanor, and he's solid in the ring, right? He's solid in the ring. He's not gonna flip and flop and fly and stuff like that. Adam Cole has the promo, has the charisma, has the style in the ring that people like. The only problem is that, I mean, he looks like a star for the most part, but he just doesn't have the physique of one. Like even Shawn Michaels, he was a smaller guy, but he was in tremendous shape, right? Bret Hart, a smaller guy compared to the Giants before, but in tremendous shape. Guys like that.
Adam Cole goes to the gym.
This is what I'm saying. He looks very, like, his physique looks very average. So it's like that. It probably would hinder him on the main roster. I'm just talking the aspects that he's a tremendous performer. I'm a big Adam Cole fan, all that stuff like that. But in terms of the look, he's a good looking guy. So he comes off well, and he has a presence to him. You can tell his confidence. He just lacks the physique of a star. So like a Finn Balor, right? Like similar size, but one of them has a tremendous physique. So that plays well across because he's supposed to be an athlete on screen. So it's just those things that's what I took out of this promo more than anything else. It felt real between the two, but it also fell on the debate a lot of people have is who's a star and who's not. What makes a star? What is it? Is it really what happens in the ring, or is it more everything outside of the ring? So whatever, I'm off my tangent there. But in the end, Karrion Kross wants all 5 guys. He wants everybody in the ring. So it's going to be a fatal 5-way. Kyle O'Reilly.
And what I want at TakeOver is everyone in the match.
Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, and Adam Cole versus him for the title.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely an interesting promo. I can't remember what Karrion Kross was before he was champion. Right now, I'm having like a dead brain on it, but like I don't know if I love his promo. I like the fact that he was, when he first came in, he was more of just like this quiet, right? And I remember he was quieter. Scarlett was more doing like the talking for him. I enjoyed that. I know you have to develop a character, but I don't know if I love. We went from that scary monster to him just talking, and he just talking like a normal dude, and he just doesn't. I don't know. He felt different before, like almost like this special monster. Now he's just kind of like a guy who has the belt, and his promo style isn't the best and doesn't fit that guy that he was when he first came in, and before he beat Finn the first time to become champion for the second time. But it just, I don't know, that promo doesn't fit for me. And I think honestly Cole's part of the promo was way better. I thought he killed him on the mic, really. There's a point where he said, like, you're special because you look, but I'm special as soon as the bell rings. Like stuff like that. Like, he just came off stronger and more of a badass than Karrion Kross did. That's how I felt about it. I don't know what you guys think, or, do you like the old Karrion where he was doing less talking and just kind of being a monster and destroying you than walking out? Or do you like this yappy yap and just kind of feels like you're run-of-the-mill promo? I don't know. Nothing special from, with this promo. I just felt it was just another random guy. I said before he felt a lot more special.
Well, I think the character itself kind of handcuffs him, right? That's the problem. Is the character, the premise of the character handcuffs him. The whole like it's supposed to be a supernatural type of thing with the tarot.
Yeah.
Now she doesn't use the tarot cards anymore. I don't think.
No, none of that stuff.
So
or like the set hourglass. I mean,
yeah, so none of that stuff's really there. So he's turning into like just a regular guy now. So which is, I mean, it's just fine, but it doesn't fit the whole premise of the intro, the entrance, the music, everything like that.
Well, just to start, because like this is what he came in as. Not comparing it to Taker goes to American Badass, but it's kind of feeling it's going that way, where it's like we went from this like special creature guy, you know, but not with powers, but just this different look to I'm just a guy who kicks ass, which is fine, but we didn't get to feel all that character. I felt like just kind of quickly we're going into this new guy.
Yeah, but it's tough. Like when we have weekly television, he's gonna be there every week. He has to kind of do something because you can't do a ton with him being so quiet. The only thing is now is like, okay, does the character just fully evolve into something different? Should Scarlett still be wearing that crazy face paint, all the craziness? Should the entrance still be the same? Should be all that stuff like that? You know, I think he's a solid promo because I think he's believable and he has a lot of intensity. I'm obviously a Karrion Kross guy. I'm an Adam Cole guy and I'm a Johnny Gargano guy. I like all those guys. The guys are all good. They're all just different. They're all different from each other. So I think he's a solid promo. I think if they kind of just give him a solid direction as to where they want this character to be, what he wants to go, I think it'll, you know, help him out in the end and make it a little bit better. I just think he needs to play off of his intensity and, you know, just, I don't know, maybe go off script a little bit more, kind of do what Adam Cole did and just say like, you know, those kind of behind the scenes kind of things like that, like, you know, stuff like that. I think that works better. I think that makes sense. He did start it with saying, you know, I did like the point where he was like, you know, we don't have to talk about, we can talk about it right here. We don't have to talk about it backstage. So that's like a cool little thing because it's kind of like pulling back that curtain a little bit. Also him signing on the line, you became less important. It's just little things like that make sense, but it's just defining the character itself and where it's headed, where he falls in line, like in terms of the rest of the roster. It's just,
and that's where I'm missing a little bit. Like what is he supposed to become now? Because he's definitely changing from when he first came in, which is fine because you have to keep developing and change your character. But I just felt like we didn't get to feel what this guy really was as what he came in like, if that makes sense. But just I feel like we went too quick to the Karrion Kross that won the title against Finn for the second time to where we are now.
Yeah, and the thing is like, okay, he's more, like I've always said, he's more of a main roster guy to me. He comes off that way of more of a main roster type of guy. His promo work, his style and everything like that seems to more the WWE style rather than the independent style, which is more of the NXT style mixed with the WWE. So I think it works a little bit better. But, you know, we'll get that Fatal 5-way. We'll see how that one turns out. And maybe an interesting way or a way to get the title off of him without him actually getting beat. So we'll see how that ends up working out and where it ends up stemming off from that point. Next thing on the show is NXT Cruiserweight Championship Open challenge, which ended up being answered by Carmello Hayes, which, you know, they gave him a lot of fanfare coming out, right? They kept saying about William Regal's you know, kind of anointed this guy as like one of the next big guys in NXT. He really has tons of good things to say about him. So he's taking on Kushida. And, you know, the match it's a very good match. I mean, it was fun. It was exactly what it was supposed to set out to do. Make Hayes seem like a viable guy in NXT right off the bat, right? So like viable right off the bat, boom, he's there. Now, will he stay in the 205 Live? I assume so, and then he'll probably branch off later on. But he seems like a guy who can make a run at it and maybe become something special or something, you know, solid in NXT. So Kushida gets the win, but he gives him the kind of like the nod at the end, like shaking his hand, like this guy's good. He's gonna be good,
Yeah, he got a step of improvement from Kushida. The match was good. Guy's solid. The Cruiserweight division is, you know, it's building out. It's interesting. It has me intrigued, which is something we couldn't say a couple years ago or even a year ago. So it's definitely, you know, sneaky division.
It is, and there's a lot of guys that you could obviously see coming up into that North American title mid-card level.
Yes, exactly. Like it's a good starting point for guys to build a star here, get them going. Where it's a meaningful title match, but it's not anything really that special. But it's definitely something meaningful. So, like I said, really sneaky division coming up. You know, coming out of the cruiserweights.
It definitely is, and we'll see how the division goes forward and who his next legitimate challenger will be for that title. Now, next thing on the show, we had Candice LeRae in the back with Indi Hartwell cutting a promo, and Indi Hartwell had headphones on. She was listening to like 80s power ballads and very sad about the Dexter Lumis thing. You know, Candice LeRae would take it from her, leave it there, and you would hear the music playing. Then Dexter Lumis would come pick it up with a tear in his eye and leave with it on.
So sad.
Yeah, so a tortured soul, man. We'll see how if there's a happy ending in the end. But the match leads to Candice LeRae, Indi Hartwell taking on Zoe Stark and Zeta Ramirez. So they decided to put these two together, which is a smart move. I think it's a smart move. They're going to meander around a little bit in the women's division because they're not really spotlighting certain people because they have a Frankie Monet, they have Raquel Gonzalez in the mix. So it's a smart move to put them together. Now. Yeah, Ember Moon, who's going on to a solo. I guess Shotzi's hurt. Maybe I don't know if Shotzi's hurt really, and that's why she's taking some time off. Maybe that's why the injury angle on TV. But yeah, so it makes sense to put them together because Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell need challengers for those belts. So it totally makes a ton of sense. The match kind of really wasn't much of anything. The way get the win, and there wasn't really much of anything at the end of in terms of Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, it was what it was. Just kind of a filler match, it felt like. But I guess we're going to build over the next few weeks of what Dexter Lumis and Indi Hartwell will become. They're going to end up together. I think it's going to end up breaking up the tag team, but we'll see where this goes. But, man, my boy Dexter Lumis, so sad, guys. Heartbroken, stabbed in the heart. Oof, 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 oof.
Yeah, it's rough stuff. Now, the next thing on the show was the NXT, tag team championship match. It was MSK versus Legado Fantasma. They're having their match and it was solid. It was not as good as the last one they've had or the previous ones they've had. It's just the constant interference. So you had Escobar interfering, and then you had Bronson Reed interfering. So it's like Escobar. So they're putting the two feuds together again, which they did with Kushida before too, and Santos Escobar. And now they're doing with Bronson Reed. So they're just kind of plug and play here. And I guess we're gonna get a 6-man maybe at not even, because I think we're gonna get Bronson Reed versus Santos Escobar. So I don't see the point of putting them together if you're not gonna eventually pay it off with a 6-man tag or something like that. Because it's okay, so they're just interfering and they're boys, and then they're against. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I see it. I see it as I wouldn't do it again because you just did it with Kushida. I would keep Bronson Reed kind of out of it. Maybe help this time and that's it. Not help again with some more interference, stuff like that. But MSK gets the win. I thought they were gonna lose it at one point. To be honest, I thought they had lost his belt.
Lee realizing it. Boom! Takes down Wild. Lee into the cover. Mendoza's out. Wild's down. MSK.
Now again, very nitpicky, but I don't like the fact that it's cool when it looks like they're gonna lose it, but the fact that you do a big ass move that looks crazy, and he doesn't get a pin from it, and you cover him immediately after hitting. Now, to protect it, you probably hit the move and kind of do a spot where you're kind of tired and you're kind of you take a little bit too much time to get the cover, so you kind of protect what you just did. But they're knocking, boom, move is done. They're going for the pin immediately, kicking out at 2 and 3/4.
So you gotta slow it down.
So yeah, the Escobar interference, he threw I think it was Wesley into the steps. He throws him in the ring. They hit a big move on him and immediately go for the pin, and he kicks out. The stuff like that is very nitpicky, but it bothers me because I'm like, God, leave a little bit of time in between. So you're kind of just okay, I understand why he kicked out.
He
But
could have had it, and the else would have put it over. He could have been. He's so exhausted. Took out of him.
And the fact that there's finishers aren't some crazy ass finishers where you're just oh my God, he's almost killed him with that type of finisher, that it just did a move that was kind of in between move that looked like he killed him, and your finisher's not even that crazy. So that's what hurts it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a interesting way to have that ending go on of throwing in the North American title with the tag team title. It just all mixed up together. Maybe next week we'll get a match, a 3-on-3 or something like that going forward, and then in your house they'll break up and have their matches, whatever. But I did like how Bronson just came in just a freaking truck and destroyed this guy right into the damn thing. That was pretty awesome. But we'll see where this goes. But definitely we have something definitely super interesting going on. It's just I don't know why everything needs to be all put together into one thing. I just felt they didn't have enough time on the show to spread it out. They just put it all together. So it was what it was. But yeah, definitely nitpicking with the MSK. They're still young. They're still super excited. I think stuff like that just gets everybody, they need to slow down a little bit. But definitely interesting way to end the show.
Yeah, and it was another solid show from NXT. They've been on a nice run of solid shows.
Nice run.
NXT Takeover in Your House now it seems like it's gonna be another solid pay-per-view and a run of solid takeovers, which is never really a bad one. So yeah, guys, that's a review and reaction for tonight's episode of NXT. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to drop a like on this video, hit the chair in the corner before it hits you first, and sub to this channel. Also, news and rumors starting up again tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. to start back up again Monday through Friday. Starting tomorrow again, took the 2 days off. Also, you know, I got some other videos in the works for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Check out that Shawn Michaels one that I dropped last week. It's a really awesome. I'm really proud about that one. Make sure you drop a like and leave a comment on that one, which Shawn Michaels you thought was better. Yeah, and appreciate you guys for tuning into this video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Later, box.